When you are thinking about how to respond to the learning that you have noticed and documented for a particular child, the first step is to think about what learning you would like to see develop from the documented play or interest. Then you can think about how to support it, drawing on the concept of intentional teaching. Remember, being intentional means planning particular ways of interacting with children, perhaps thinking ahead of challenging questions to ask children, or questions that encourage children to engage in more sustained exploration. Even planning not to intervene, but to be on hand and observing, can be an intentional response. So, you might ask yourself, do you want to see this learning deepen in terms of children exploring some of the underlying concepts in more depth? For example, if a child is interested in covering things with blankets and other fabrics, you would think about other ways in which they could come to understand the concept of being covered or enveloping. Or you might want to see the learning extend to other contexts. Perhaps then you'd like to help a child who is showing kindness to soft toy animals extend that care to his peers, for example. Alternatively, you might want the learning to become more complex within the same context. For example, you might like to support a child who pushes cars and trains along bridges she's made to invent scenarios to explain why bridges are needed. And if children have demonstrated good problem-solving skills, you might like to see them progress to more complex problems. Planning to support ongoing learning does not need to involve complex plans for new experiences for children, although it can do. In the example of the child's exploration of bridges, learning may become more complex if a teacher simply makes the right suggestion or comment at the right time. Or you might initiate projects, investigations, or problem solving by providing children with ideas, meaningful questions, and problems to solve. Other ways of supporting children's developing learning in an intentional way is through the provision of environments and through making particular materials available. For example, if an infant has enjoyed exploring a basket of fabrics, draping them over her face, and you want her to continue to develop her ability to explore, experiment, and take risks in her play, then next you might provide a box to crawl through in which scarves have been hung. Or, returning to a previous example, you might support children who are interested in covering things with fabric to explore coverage with other materials, such as sand, paint, or paper.